Hello out there in World Doll Day. We're here today at the Grovian Museum and Carmel Doll Shop to talk about naughty bits.
Are you telling me that we should put that this is an X-rated establishment?
Well, only this little corner.
Okay.
You are entering the red light district today. But actually, I wanted to talk about what is and what isn't really naughty. I know that historically collectors have referred to the bathing beauties as naughties. They've referred to the little figurines of peeing boys and children on chamber pots as naughties. But those are really not all that naughty.
Yeah, they're natural functions in a lot of ways.
They are. They are not really naughty. And the other thing that I don't really consider naughty, let's talk about this guy.
Okay.
Now, this doll figure, I'm going to take him off the stand. He is a crocheted, obviously anatomically correct man doll. He has long...
Classical looking,
yeah,
really.
long hair. And really phenomenal crochet work here.
I think so.
Oh my God, to be able to crochet like that. But I don't think that this is a naughty, because I think this is simply...
It's like a Greek sculpture.
I think it's probably representing a biblical figure, such as Adam, of Adam and Eve, or maybe Samson, as in Samson and Delilah, because of the long hair. And I think that it was not made with the intent to represent something naughty.
And there was a lot of intention here, because
yes.
Look at how they've stuffed the muscles and the legs and the
look
arms.
Look at how they have the knees are defined, the fingers. There's a lot of work that went into this, aside from the detail on the genitalia, which are there, obviously.
Perfectly healthy, natural.
Yep. So I don't consider that to be a naughty.
Now, Kathy, do you think that this could have had clothes at one point, or do you think it was always were they always in the garden?
I think he probably was always in the garden originally. Let me tell you the story about how he arrived with me, because it's kind of amusing. I spotted this doll with blurry pictures for sale on eBay, and it was fully clothed, wearing too large for it Ken doll clothing.
Oh, there you go.
And just something about it it was very inexpensive, and I just gambled and bought it. And when it came home to me, I started peeling off these much later clothing. The bottom layer was one of those red stretch Barbie swimsuits.
Oh.
And when I got down to that, I realized there was something going on.
Yeah.
And
he needed Speedos.
Yes. When I peeled it off,
or a banana hammock.
Yes. I was quite surprised to find that he was fully equipped like that.
Well, I think it's wonderful.
He is wonderful.
And really the least amount of detail on the whole doll is, I think, really the face.
Yeah.
That's where they really didn't a bland look.
They wanted the body to be depicted.
In all his nakedness.
In all his nakedness. And hand in hand with that, we want to talk about, oops, I'm going to knock somebody over. These two tiny, tiny little...
Can you lower them down a little bit so we can see? Thank you.
Amazing detail on these in cloth.
Yes.
I mean, amazing.
Well, you're covering his bit, so we've got to enjoy him in all his glory.
That was certainly unintentional. I'm not trying to censor him.
I mean, they are beautifully crafted.
I mean, they even have toes, and you can see that they are not even 3 inches tall.
Yeah, they're great.
And
can we lift them up towards me? Thank you. We have a collection of these in our collection here, and ours are all dressed in the original clothes. So they've got all this, but I'm not going to pull them down to show that.
I'm going to set them down so that I can talk about I think that they may be South American. And I say this because the Bahia dolls of Brazil have some similar construction techniques, and those are also typically anatomically correct. I have a pair of Bahia dolls from Brazil, and they are fairly large, though. They're probably about, 16 to 18 inches tall, and I have the male and female pair, and they are both anatomically correct.
Yeah, and you see those.
Yes,
yeah.
you do see those. I didn't bring those. Again, I don't consider those little tiny dolls or the Bahia dolls to be naughty dolls.
Yeah, they're just, they're true to life.
They are true to life. So what really is a naughty doll? So this is one, I have one of these at home, and you happen to have this early figure. And this is a lady, and she is washing her feet in a basin, but you see that she's exposing her breasts, and she's also sort of exposing her crotch a bit.
But we don't see anything in the crotch.
Do not in this
one. It's just pinky.
However, I have the similar model at home, and
yours is very graphic.
Mine is painted in detail in her nether regions, yes.
And we would get kicked off the internet for
We
that.
Can't show you that because we'd have to blur it anyway.
Yeah,
So you use your imagination, look, check yourself.
But her breast is hanging out.
It is. You can see that going on. So this is venturing into the Victorian period. This would be naughty for them.
Yeah, in the 1860s.
Yes, I would think so. With that hairstyle, that bun. So she's
and there has to be some kind of metaphor here of she's washing her feet and
Mary Magdalene.
It's something. It's something. Some metaphor of that. Someone out there will let us know.
That could be. So I consider her mildly naughty.
Yeah, just a little bit. Seductive.
Something to titillate the male.
Yes.
Viewer.
Yeah, get them to go into the porcelain shop and buy something.
He could show his friends and they can Twitter about it.
Well, I mean, Queen Victoria did what for Prince Albert, fairly provocative portraits for him.
They had a very sexy relationship, I understand.
Yeah, so, some things never change.
So let's move up into the realm of truly naughty now.
They are naughty.
So let's start with this gal here. So she is an elegant lady, looking very prim and proper in her brown velvet skirt.
And these are about dollhouse size.
This is barely 3 inches tall. Fine porcelain. And then there is a little, two little hooks to open her skirt in front. And when you open it, now we are going to probably have to blur this out.
I'm going to just go far away and then that way.
Okay.
So,
but she is fully detailed, very fine brushwork, I might
They
add.
did an outstanding job on her.
She is anatomically correct as well. And the upper part of the body and the lower half are separate pieces. There's a little cloth connection between them. I have sometimes seen this figure before intact like this, and I've also sometimes seen it with just the upper body.
So you have seen this with other anatomically correct
I have seen this exact model.
Really?
Not frequently, it's rare, but I've seen maybe one complete other one, and I've seen one where it was just the upper body, because probably some prudish person tossed the lower body, I'm guessing.
Well, I think that what's interesting about her, Kathy, is paper dolls from about that same era that were, parlor art and also meant for children. There's a good amount of them that were anatomically correct, and it wasn't a naughty thing. It's just what it was.
Well, you could consider whether she's naughty or not, but when you move into this realm over here, and you have them as a pair.
Yeah, then they're telling another story.
They're telling another story. So as you can see, this is a monk. He has the tonsured hairdo. He's wearing his robe. He's got his arms folded piously in front of him. He's wearing his brown...
And I know I have to pull the camera back.
You ready?
Yeah.
So again, there's little hooks in front to open his robe.
So these were not meant for anyone to just get in and look. And he is a very attentive man.
Yes, he is.
So maybe the priesthood is not for him, or the monkhood.
Correct. And this is super naughty because this is poking fun at the church.
Yes.
That would have been super naughty.
And the hypocrisy of all of that.
Yes. So now we're in the realm of truly a naughty figure. This would not have been for a child's toy.
No.
This would have been, I don't know, maybe in a house of ill repute for a little ha-ha moment. I'm not sure.
Or in a men's,
A men's
smoking
club.
room to say, oh yeah, look at the doll I just got. A couple of cute dolls.
Pocket sized. This, I have never seen another one like the monk before.
And it's a little bit of satire, I think, in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. So this is truly risque when you get into the monk.
Yeah, but that has to be ever so rare.
It does. I just realized I might be missing one little thing. I think it might still be over there, but I'm going to move on to this. Now we go into another country, and this is
another time frame.
I think he's probably 20th century, maybe early 20th century. Hard to say. You're the fabric person more than I am.
I would think probably the 20s.
That would be my guess.
Into the 30s, maybe.
So you look at him, he's probably maybe an Argentinian gaucho, we think, South American at any rate. And there's nothing particularly,
naughty about him.
Nothing about, until you lift his skirt and you discover that he is hung like a, what do they say?
A donkey.
A donkey. Yes, indeed. There he is.
But I think it's funnier that the backside is even just as funny.
And there we go.
He's got a tail.
He has a tail.
So this was just a joke piece, a novelty.
This was a joke, novelty piece, but it is naughty.
Yeah.
But it is naughty indeed. Now, other cultures also have naughty figures because of space. I didn't bring them, but I have, for example, in the Japanese realm,
there's a lot, isn't
there?
There
are a lot. They have a whole genre called shunga, which is sexually active figures, both in 2D and 3D. I have one figure that is a carved wooden figure of a Japanese woman. It's kind of abstract a bit, and she's just simply seated primly, but when you turn it upside down, she's pleasuring herself. So,
well, she's having
a happy moment.
Yeah.
So other cultures do have different sensibilities about this also. So what we consider gasp, where they just consider, yeah, whatever. And I have one more miniature for you. Now, every culture has its dirty jokes, and I think this is basically a take on this. This is a puzzle box, and you're supposed to try to figure out where things are. This says, find the stiff. I'm like, what are they talking about? And then you just say, oh, I can open it here. What's in here? Well, what is in here? You have found the stiff.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically this is a stiff in a box.
Okie dokie.
And as you can see, he is anatomically endowed.
Yeah, and this is, it is a miniature human skeleton.
Coffin.
And
well, it's not even. He's not even decomposed as a skeleton.
Oh no, I guess you're right. He's not.
He's just a stiff in a box.
That's right. Okay, there you go.
So that is this gentleman. So I think this falls into the category of dirty jokes.
Yeah, dirty jokes and naughty.
And naughty.
But I mean, don't you think this is a really interesting? I mean, if you think about dolls, miniature humans,
mm-hmm.
You could record jokes. You could record the anatomy of the human.
Yes.
I mean, there's so much you could do with this.
And obviously, in some cases, they did. Now, there is a modern doll artist, which I don't know if your audience is familiar with, that I would urge you to check out her work. And her name is Katie Zorn. She's in Germany. And she is a classically trained porcelain artist. And she does these phenomenal figures, and including dolls sometimes. And some of hers are naughty. So I have one of hers, but it was too big to bring safely. But I'm just going to suggest that you check out, she's on Facebook, what she does in her life. Yes, because if you like to have a little ha-ha, sometimes you might appreciate her work too.
Well, I mean, Kathy, you are a highly accomplished artist, and in the fine arts world, So what would be, you know, in the doll collecting, which would be, oh my gosh, the doll is anatomically correct. That wouldn't be anything in
No.
Drawings or paintings
Nothing
or sculptures. Sculpture.
Any artist who's been trained had to have gone pretty much through anatomy classes where
Right.
you're drawing from a live nude model, and it's nothing.
Right.
It's just training. So there's nothing naughty about that, really.
Well, this has been absolutely fascinating, and I covet some of these wonderful items on the table, and I thank you so much for giving us another great program, Kathy. Bye-bye, doll friends.
Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.